Hello and welcome to the Literary Bar. How are you doing? It's mixed emotions for me. The most beloved Pope Francis passed away on the 21st of April, and I felt really sad. Pope Francis was a man I truly adored because he was an exemplary human being. Kindness and humility are my most attractive qualities in any human being. Pope Francis will certainly become a saint. He was truly a gift to the world, alas. The world seems to be deficient in humanity. Lives are being wasted at the whims of monsters in our midst. Women are about to become endangered species, murdered by maniacs, either intimate partners or sadistic strangers. How does one begin to make sense of the tragic details surrounding Bamise's murder? A hard-working young woman who boarded a government-operated bus, BRT, that takes her straight to the land of no return. Bamise Ayanwola had everything going for her: her dreams, aspirations, friends, family. She was even on her way to meet her brother after work on February 26, 2002. Unfortunately, her path collided with Andrew Nice, who converted his BRT bus, a government facility, into a killing field. Her smartness was revealed in her voice note to her friend, so that from the grave, Bamise was a vocal witness in her murder trial. Andrew may have terminated her life, but through her voice notes, Bamise retained the rights to the conclusion of her story. Andrew Nice, murderer and rapist, was recently convicted and sentenced to death by hanging. Justice was seen to be delayed but not denied because it took 3 long, arduous years. It's an honor to have Damilola Ayanwola, Bamise's sister, and Ayanwola Dibiah, a tireless advocate against femicide, join us today at the Literary Bar to tell Bamise's story. Join us after the break. Damilola Ayanwola is into fiberglass production such as swimming pools, mannequins, and bed frames. Her sister Bamise's murder devastated her family and changed their lives in the most heartbreaking way. Ayanwola Dibiah, who is also here with us, is an author, the founder and director of DOHS Cares, where she dedicates her time and resources fighting for the protection of women and children against gender-based violence. Welcome, ladies. Damilola.
Good afternoon.
I really wish we met under different circumstances, but here we are today. Ayanwola, a family member.
Yes, I mean.
Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
So, Damilola, finally, justice delayed, but it wasn't denied. How's your family? How are your parents? How are you guys holding up?
Well, by the special grace of God, we have been living in God's hands and we have been coping, though it has not been easy.
Okay.
It has not been easy. It's a journey of 3 years and 3 months.
Wow.
So, we give God the glory, but my age parents has not been finding it easy.
Okay.
They have not been finding it easy because they have been, especially my mom. Like
how old is your mom?
My mom is 76 now.
You said Bamise is the last child, the 10th and the last child.
Yes.
Your mom is a wonderful woman. 10 children.
Yes.
How old was Bamise when she died?
She was 22.
Okay, so this year she should have been 26.
25.
She's 25.
Yeah.
Amazing. And just at the prime of her life, this happened. But you know, I was watching. All of us were watching. You know, from the time this thing happened, the shock that this happened in a BRT bus. I mean, where could be safer other than a BRT bus? You know, and first of all, I want to find out the kind of support you have received as a family. You know, with what's happened, I expect that you would have received maybe at least some psychological support, especially for your aged parents.
Well, nothing of such has ever happened.
There's no trauma, you know, like now there should be PTSD for family and friends. Even during the judgment, no Lagos State appointed a psychotherapist visited?
No, we don't have, and we have never had anyone before. Since the incident till today, there has never been any doctor or any therapist that has visited my parents or any of the family.
How old is your father?
My father is 86 now.
And your mom is 76?
Yes.
Wow. And they've had to struggle with this for their last child, the baby of the family.
Yes.
It's really, really difficult, processing how all of this could have happened. In the intro, I mentioned that this whole matter was concluded because Bamise spoke even from the grave. I think we have a clip of that. We're going to listen to it at some point. But tell us about Bamise. For those of us who never met her, what would we know about her?
Bamise is a lovely lady that you would love to meet. I think it was Bamise that was here since I have arrived. Many people would have known her. Yes, because she's a lovely person, a jovial person. She attached herself with both young and old, especially children. And she loved to stay around the age people, And Bamise happens to be the last child of the family. My parents got Bamise. My mom got Bamise when she was in her 50s. Some women have this opportunity before they got to their menopause. Most of them, they would have gotten to like their 60s, so that is just it. So Bamise was born into the Ayanwola family when my mom was in her 50s. So Bamise, when she was growing up, she loved to act. Yeah, she loved to make people happy, and Bamise doesn't want anybody around her to feel unhappy, or when you are thinking, Bamise doesn't want to see you thinking. Bamise is a very lovely girl that she does things at the appropriate time. Bamise, once you ask her to do something, you won't repeat yourself again before Bamise will do it.
Lovely pictures you sent.
Yes. And those pictures you're seeing, they are natural pictures of her. Because most of us in the family, maybe because of our upbringing, my mom is a Deeper Life member, my dad is a pastor in Deeper Life, my siblings pastor and workers in Deeper Life. Maybe that is why makeup of a thing, or even wearing powder is not part of us. So everything you see in that picture is natural. And she loved to be a natural human being like myself. So Bamise, when she was growing, she happens to, as the last child, you mingle with everyone, you be the best friend to all other siblings. And Bamise is a lady that loves to keep secrets. Yes, when you talk to her as one of the elder, and you tell her, please don't tell, she keeps
very
it.
trustworthy.
Yes. So we put our trust in her. And we believe anything we tell her. In fact, Bamise she's the last born. She's young, but she's intelligent.
She's matured.
Yes, she's so matured that most time when you are troubled, you don't know who to talk to. And Bamise passes, and she would Even if you don't want to tell Bamise will make you tell her. And when you tell Bamise, God gave Bamise this talent, she would sort that problem amicably. She will tell you how you can go about it. And that is Bamise for you.
Yeah.
And Bamise is a lady that ever since she has been into this sinful world, I, Ayanwola Damilola, I've never heard it that Bamise has any quarrel
with anyone.
Because she is a peaceful maker. She doesn't like trouble.
Yeah.
Bamise is so lovely that there's these people that they call Bola. All these aboki that do pick. You know, when this incident happened, they saw me because I went to my sister's place where she was living before what happened to her happened. And these people saw me and they were like, "Hey, I don't talk Ayondai. That I thought they said you are dead." They thought I was Bamise. Okay. You know, this thing make me feel so emotional. And because for you to know the kind of person Bamise was when she was alive, you know, she impacts in her own little way.
Yeah.
She impacts to life. She doesn't want you to
you said
get
she's interested in fashion. I think she was studying fashion design.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before the fashion, she was going to school. After some time, she told the parent that, "Please, I don't want to school anymore.
Okay.
It's like this school is not really working. Let me go and learn something." And you know, my dad was like, "No, you have to go to." She said that, and she called a meeting, a family meeting, and tell us, "Please tell the parents, I want to learn something. I don't want to go to school again. School is not really working for me." And we're like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And she said she wants to learn fashion. She wants to be a fashionista. And we're like, okay. Then she started training. Where she was training, that place was not that conducive for her. So she now said, okay, my elder sister, the first child, was like, okay, I have a woman that's so very well. If you can come and learn at her place. And she was like, okay. So she went there. And when she started learning, the woman fell in love with her because Bamise is very fast in learning. She was very fast in learning, and she was doing it great. She was doing exceedingly great there. So till she graduated, in fact, the day of her graduation, her boss husband was crying.
Wow. That shows such dedication.
Yes.
That is missing now in a lot of
yes.
in a lot of people, both young and old.
Yes, this man was crying seriously. And when he was sharing his testimony, he made people to know that Bamise is not an apprentice in his wife's school, but a child to him.
Oh, that's so good.
Said when because the man is a traveler, so whenever he returns, Bamise, daddy, you know, the kind of joy, the way we address the man, so lovely.
You know, when I was talking about that the world is lacking in humanity, it's just nice to hear this human side of Bamise. And then, of course, we can't say enough about a 22-year, because she lived, she loved, she laughed, and all of that. And unfortunately, like I said, she had to board this bus with this monster and all that. And I can see the emotions coming through. I felt so bad from that day because I was like, what's happening? Typically when you hear a girl has been murdered, Lola, you know this better than most of us because you're tracking what's happening with women in cases of femicide. People say, oh, is it hookup? Is it runs? Is it Yahoo and all of that? Bamise did everything right. She did everything right. And to think that just coming from work, going to meet her brother, so you can see her life is about work, family, and just relationships.
Yeah.
You know, and then she ends up in how can a monster be called Andrew Nice? I don't get it. How can?
So I'll say that that goes to prove that no woman or girl is safe from this kind of abuse of violence
From
against
predators.
women.
Yes.
Yes. It doesn't matter if you are holier than most. It doesn't matter if you are classed to be, on the other side of the moral. So, because oftentimes it feels like as if when violence against women happens, when femicide happens, instead of us to concentrate on the perpetrator, people now, keep
The victim.
rolling out advice for the victim, or for other girls, like learn, don't be this, don't be that. But it's a lie. The focus is supposed to be on the perpetrators. Why not? Like, don't kill, don't rape women, don't abuse us, don't. Instead of saying, oh, what was she wearing, or where was she going? Because all of that does not matter to perpetrators.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I'm going to Bamise again, how smart that Bamise was. Even as she boarded Andrew Nice's boss, she gave that evidence. She was so smart enough to know that there's something wrong, and then she gave this now chilling audio that put a nail in Andrew's coffin. Let's hear the audio.
Finish also. Nico, I mean, what is it? We'll be out to follow me. We'll be out here. What is the amount of? Be out here, we follow me one night. I think my last is very good. We are going to for me. We find we see you. Not to worry, not to worry. You come with me. What a fellow, anything I'll do is shaking one of the things you don't know because you try and you have people try not to be in there. So, check out to someone being in bus control here. Someone being in bus. You follow go. Come on, over your mama, no see go, but you're special.
Wow. I don't understand. I don't speak much of Yoruba, let me confess, but can you explain to us, for people who don't understand Yoruba, what you're saying?
Well, she was trying to ask a friend if BRT bus do pick passengers at Chevron bus stop. And she was like, when this guy picked me up, that he said, oh, you are beautiful, you are looking good. And she's asking her friend that, please answer me because I don't have call card. That is why I'm sending these voice notes. And she now said, I am boxy. And my front is a special one. So, and she was even laughing, seeing the deaths. So that was what she was trying to say there.
She already sensed the danger that something was wrong in the way the transportation was going. So now, and this brings me back to the fact that this occurred within a government facility, BRT. So now I'm asking you, has the BRT Lamata or whoever they're in charge, have they come to your family to talk about what has happened, the way forward? Have they given your family any sort of support?
Well, they came before we buried her. When they heard that we wanted to bury her.
This was, 2022. She was killed February 26th.
Yes,
And then
2022.
Yes, and so what time did they come?
Very late. Very late. They came sometimes November. Yeah.
Bamise was buried when?
Can I recall?
Okay. But what, okay, they came around.
Bamise was buried the same year.
Okay.
But it was just like a week to a burial that they came to the family. And we told them that, because they heard I wanted to bury her, and that was the time they came. And the place that we buried her, they are the one that, I think they are the one that paid for it.
The burial?
Yes. And that has been all that we have gotten from them.
You know, because when people board a plane, it crashes, there's compensation for the family because everyone is insured. So now I'm wondering if BRT, when you exchange your money for that ticket, it's an exchange of trust, you know. The man who is driving the BRT bus represents the government. And then when you board, you're like, I'm in government hand. So that's why I'm saying that the BRT is a government facility. And everybody who purchases that ticket, I'm sure there should be some sort of insurance around that. And so victims of the BRT bus, any incident that occurs around it, should get something. So I don't know what is the price of life or the sort of insurance. I mean, you can't drive around Lagos without insurance, right? They would catch you, VIO, whatever, you know. So the question is, has anyone discussed about the passenger insurance with your family, or nothing?
Imposition.
No. No one has ever discussed anything insurance.
Okay.
In fact, I'm wearing the insurance that we think for the first time.
I don't know if they have, but every car has, even if you can't get comprehensive, you get
I'm sure
you get
BRT
third
does
party
have insurance.
So they must have, and it's been 3 years, so maybe they're saving the money for your family. But quickly moving on to that, the person representing the constituency where your family lives, do you know who the person is? Have they come to meet your family?
Well, I've never heard anything of such.
Okay. But someone has come to
House of
visit.
Rep. She's asking about the House of Reps member.
Well, when the incident happened, we have a lot of people that came.
Yes.
Like the DPO of that area where my parents are. They came, and that was all. So there's no one that has come again to the family.
You know, Lagos State is a very caring, they have a very caring government. You know, if anything happens, the government always wants to visit. Between the governor, his wife, or anybody who has come to see you?
Okay, the governor's wife came, I think after like 3 months after the incident.
Okay.
Yes, she came. And when she came, she saw where we were staying, and she was like, wow, this place is not safe.
That's in Alimosho?
Yes.
Ayobo.
When she came, we were using room and parlor. Not just normal room and parlor. You face me, I owned your apartment, you know. So when she came and she saw the family, and she was like, she's sorry about what has happened, and honestly she spoke well, because the truth has to be told. Yes, she spoke well, and she felt our pain, and she promised my parents that she's going to get them a better apartment, that she doesn't like where they yes, because that place is not secured. That was a statement then, if I am not mistaken. That was a statement then. But
this was in 2022.
Yes, it was in 2022.
Around May, maybe like this time May.
Yes, so that was what she said then, and that was all. So the governor himself, we haven't heard about him.
She gave a gift to the family.
Yes, you know, it is very normal, even if you go to their place, to their office, to visit them, you know, they'll surely.
So, okay, the governor's wife, I mean, that's really generous of her to have come to visit the family and given her personal donation to the family. But she is acting in her capacity as a mom, you know, mother to the nation and all of that. But again, it does not absolve BRT from coming to your family to say, okay, if something happens like this, I know, I keep maintaining that Bamise died within a government facility at the hands of a government-appointed personnel. So if he's a driver of the state, now we're going to ask, what psychological tests and do they go through when they are put in charge of interfacing with the public? Because if you board a bus, you put your life in the hands of the driver, and then if a government deems this person worthy to drive, that means the government trusts the person, right? So, like Lolade, you were also you've been present in all of this fight. You've stood with the family and all of that. What led to this conviction, and why did it take so long, in your opinion?
Yes, I would say 3 years and 3 months is too long.
Yes.
Especially for a femicide case that, you know, there were witnesses. And when I mean witnesses, number one witness was the victim herself. So, and that's one of the things that we've been advocating for, especially with the drafted bill on femicide that DHS has submitted even before the Lagos State House of Assembly and the National Assembly, that we need a femicide law in Nigeria separately from the law on homicide and murder in general. You know, we are happy that these judgments delayed but not denied, you know. But at the end of the day, aside from the fact that this delayed judgments puts, you know, the family of victims through so much trauma,
without support at this point,
for 3 years they had to, you know, keep reliving that trauma, going to courts, getting the case adjourned over and over again, getting grilled by the defense counsel and all of that. At the end of the day, you know, death sentence, which is what we've been advocating for, it's very welcome. I personally am grateful to Justice Sharifa Chimaike that delivered the judgment. But one thing that would add to that is that we advocate for femicide to be distinctly recognized on its own as a crime, because it is the intentional killing of a woman or girl because of her gender, due to a gender-related motive. We could hear Bamise saying in the sentence, saying in our voice note, saying, "Oh, he said he likes me," "Oh, this, that." So we know that, you know, number one, there's already a gender-related motive.
Yes.
And, you know, and at the end of the day, we get to find out that this guy was a serial rapist. He had raped 2 other women that eventually came to give their,
He's crazy because he seems to be polite about it. There's a girl he raped and he sent money to the lady. If this was in America, he'll get a moniker as maybe the nice rapist or the nice murderer. I don't know.
Do you get?
He's serial rapist, like, and he sends them money for medication. What?
And that 14 years I was given for that rape, honestly.
Attempted rape.
For attempted rape?
Yes, 14 years. For the rape, to Mary Jane, that was life imprisonment.
Okay.
Then for the murder of my sister, that was death by hanging.
By hanging. You were in court when it happened?
Always active.
How did he look?
He looked shabby. And you were not there.
My representative was here.
Your representative should have told you. You know, he's a tall guy, but he looks huge, he looks robust,
Yes.
and
There's a
he
guy.
looked nice. Like his name. He looked nice because when you see him, you will never believe.
It's really crazy.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And people begin to ask me, are you sure this guy is? I said, please, I don't know.
Allegedly. There's a guy on TV, Mr. Kende something.
Adeye.
Yes, he's part of a human rights group. I think he was saying something to that, like, how can somebody who's been in prison for three years or whatever use this nice
As Tesh.
you know he still has his human rights, so maybe his family would have brought close family or friends or colleagues who may have.
But in his testimony, he said he doesn't have family in Lagos.
They can visit.
Okay.
They can visit, and there are churches, or not churches, there are human rights organizations who believe in treating a person well. Pope Francis, as I mentioned, loves people so much that during the time of washing the feet, he goes to the prisons and he kisses the feet, he washes and kisses the feet of prisoners.
But don't we have search for Osinashi's husband?
Was Osinachi's, I don't know, that won't be a lady to tell us more about Osinachi's husband and his judgment. But you know, in this case, I'm just saying that if you look robust, he doesn't look robust. He's a convicted murderer and he's going to die for it. But there are also other things that were thrown up where, Mr. Aja, and you have also mentioned that there were things the family was not happy with in the judgment, that there were supposed to be other people.
Yes.
Because Bamise mentioned that there were other people in the bus with her. But how are we to know what happened, if they got off, if they didn't get off? You know, how do we know if Andrew didn't even eliminate those people too? Right? Nobody knows anything.
Nobody knows anything.
Accomplices.
Yeah, if he has it, he doesn't have, you know. I understand her phone is still missing.
Yes, her phone is still missing. And the other three at large that we are still searching, you know. According to my sister, she said 2 male and a female.
Yes.
So that was it. And according to eyewitnesses, they made us to know that there was an SUV car, a black SUV car behind the BRT bus, and the BRT parked. The SUV car also parked behind him, and they brought my sister. They didn't say they threw her from a moving vehicle. They said they carried her and put her at that place that they saw her lifeless body. And afterwards, those guys went into that SUV car
And went away.
and they drove away. They drove away alongside with the...
Well, the good thing is that Andrew, who is the driver of the bus, was caught. So it's left to him later to admit or call out those people.
He was caught because of the diligence of my sister.
Yes.
And by God's intervention. Because on a norms, even I myself, I might not even think towards that area. That I'm feeling somehow. I'm not comfortable. Let me take pictures or voice notes. Now, it is not just the voice note, because even with the voice notes, by now we wouldn't have any case with the BRT or the Lamata or anybody. Reason is that who picked her up, we wouldn't know. Which bus exactly, we wouldn't know. But the divine intervention of God Almighty is that despite that place was dark,
around the time it was about 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yes.
He already switched the light off. So the bus is dark already. So for her to try and get the number of that bus, it speaks volume. And I see that it is God Almighty who has helped my sister
to get the wisdom
to get those things done. Despite the fear, despite seeing death, you still fight. You struggle with death. You want to kill me, I'm ready for your death, but I have to expose you.
Yes.
And she did that.
It's amazing she had the presence of mind to do that. We'll take a short break, and then when we come back, we talk more with you, Ololade, on a lot of things that are happening concerning women, while we can never conclude Bamise's story because she's made a huge impact on lives, and it's now how we're going to make sure that the lessons we've learned from Bamise will remain with us and guide the rest of us. See you after the break. We've come to the end of the part 1 of this incredibly heartbreaking story of Bamise Ayanwola. Please join us next week for the conclusion of the conversation. Thank you.